Three, two, one. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Mark, your boss, is forever sending me certificates of long service to be signed, and I do it gladly. This year, though, he's more demanding, and he would like me to express on this video my sincere thanks to those of you who have served marriage care for 40 or 50 years, and I do it willingly. Thank you very much indeed for that service that you've given in different roles as counsellors, marriage preparation, heads of centres and trustees. I can't name you all, but I thank you all. And I thank everyone in marriage care for the great work that you do in difficult circumstances, often a bit against the tide. And let me take this opportunity to wish you all a very, very happy Christmas. It's a feast full of joy because it's the feast of the birth of our Saviour. And it's He who opens for us new horizons of what it means to be human, of what we're called to be. And in His presence, He gives us the strength, the wherewithal to strive always to fulfill that deep, eternal potential within each one of us. So thank you to those long-serving members, and a very happy Christmas to you all. May God bless you.
Joy Oneness. Thank you, Joy, for giving over 40 years of service to marriage care. After attending CMAC's marriage preparation course with her fiancé in 1977, Joy applied for our counsellor training program. Deferring for a few years to gain experience of marriage and family life for herself, Joy completed her training and started counselling and facilitation in 1980. She then went on to train other marriage preparation facilitators. In 1995, Joy trained as a supervisor and in 2003 started working as an education officer, helping extend marriage care's work into schools. And since becoming a counsellor trainer in 2006, Joy has tutored on a number of marriage care's counsellor training programs and is a trainer on our current Diploma in Relationship Counselling course. Here are a few words from fellow trainer and friend Janine Murray.
Hi there, Joy. What a privilege it is for me to be saying hello and congratulations and well done. What an achievement to have done 40 years for marriage care. I mean, I think of you as Mrs. Marriage Care, but yeah, that feels like it is a real achievement, and I'm so glad that we can celebrate this with you. I was thinking about when we first met, and actually I'd heard so much about Joy Oneness before I even met you. From when the Bolton Centre became part of the Manchester Centre, I heard about this person who everybody seemed to defer to. She seemed to know everything about the organisation. Yeah, so it sounded quite a formidable kind of person. Yeah, and then we started to train to deliver relationship education, and I think that's around, I can't remember, 2004, 2005, around then. And we did the training. I met you. You were a lot younger than I thought you would be from what I'd heard. And we delivered a couple of relationship education days together. And I just really learnt a lot from working with you, about taking care of group process and our own process, which was so valuable and so helpful. I think as a training team, we complement each other. You're just so good at researching and distilling and presenting information, and you allow me to bring my full presence to whoever we're training. I can kind of relax and be me and bring all of me to that. I remember, I'm smiling because I remember driving back from a training event, probably Milton Keynes, but I'm not sure. And listening to Johnny Walker on Radio 2, Sounds of the 70s. And saying, a song came on and I said, oh, this takes me back to being a teenager. And I felt your surprise at the side of me. I think you had mentored me. I mean, all the experience you have in marriage care, you were kind of the more responsible person and the more mature person in that. But I think you were surprised to find out we were of an age and we had the same kind of, the same teenage years with the same kind of music. Yeah, I always smile when I think, I just could feel that, yeah, that you'd suddenly realised I was around the same age as you. Yeah. I value your beautiful and generous mentoring, sharing your knowledge of counselling and EFT and of the organisation, helping me and countless others in marriage care to feel more confident and to help our clients. As Mark said at weekend 3, you must have helped thousands of couples directly and indirectly through counselling and supervising and training. Through all of the work you do, there's a sense of joy that you bring to the work. You know it's God's work and you help us all feel the Holy Spirit at work in whatever we do. You're always positive. You see the positive in whatever we're doing and whatever happens, and you're sort of graceful in thanking others for their input and support when we're working as a team. You're invaluable as a team member, ensuring that we take care of what's happening within us and between us and within and between the trainees. A true embodiment of EFT and marriage care values. I think if we cut you in half, we'd see marriage care stamped all the way through you. I just feel blessed to know you as my friend. Congratulations, Joy.
Jean Marsh. After being selected for counsellor training in 1979, Jean went on to take on numerous roles within marriage care, becoming a trainer and supervisor in 1986 and also head of centre for the Liverpool team from 2008 to 2009. During this time, Jean was instrumental in developing marriage care's partnership with the Liverpool Archdiocese and has served on the Board of Trustees 3 times, including as Vice Chair. Thank you, Jean, for giving over 41 years of service to marriage care. Here are a few words from former Chair of the Board and friend, Charles Perryman.
Hello, Jean. I'm pleased to be able to add my voice to the many of your colleagues who wish to thank you and pay tribute to you for your dedicated service to the clients of marriage care for 40 years. And not only to your colleagues, but who are co-workers in this vineyard, but also to the staff here. I think, if my memory serves me right, I first worked closely with you on the ITC programme, probably somewhere around 2010, 2011. And then a few years later, when you were the facilitator on the CRC course. One of your great strengths, which I observed, was your ability to sense what was going on in the dynamics of the group. You're brilliant at feedback, and this was important for me when you were facilitators, as we heard accurate and supportive insight into the impact of our work and the interaction within the training team. And it's immensely valuable to have had that overview from someone who was clearly for the team. And it was that experience of the way that you work, of your presence and of your deep self-awareness, that led me to ask you to become the Deputy Chair of Trustees of Marriage Care when I was asked to take on the role of Chair. it was not difficult to foresee that there would be some difficult times ahead. And I knew that I needed someone that I would be able to trust and who would give me advice and who would see matters from a different perspectives. And you were the person I thought of first. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to take on the role. I do remember, however, your firm proviso that no one should expect you to become the chair when I step down. And indeed, it was not an easy time for us, for me, or for Marriage Care. But it would have been far more stressful for me if I'd not had your wisdom and your support. And I cannot thank you enough for that. Then we teamed up to supervise each other's counselling. And that was for me the best experience of supervision, because by then we knew each other well, so that the challenge that we presented to one another was at a more perceptive level, more so than any previous supervision I'd been involved with. Throughout all of your work, what stands out for me is your passion to help our clients and your deep spiritual awareness of them. I also think the thanks of Marriage Care are due to David. Without the support of our spouses, carrying on for so long brings the danger that our commitment to our clients will cause tension in the relationship. You often spoke of David with warmth and affection, and I know that he was your secure base and safe haven. So may God bless you both and give you peace.
Anne Wills. Thank you, Anne, for giving over 44 years of service to Marriage Care. Anne joined CMAC Marriage Care in 1976 and trained as a counsellor. Anne also trained in marriage preparation provision and volunteered for 24 years preparing couples for the sacrament of marriage. After retiring from this role, she's continued faithfully as a counsellor at the Tyneside Centre. And here are a few words from friend and colleague Teresa Saunders.
Anne, I'm delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate you on behalf of Marriage Care for your 44 years of counselling especially, and also remembering all the marriage prep days that you did in past years. It's a truly great achievement. As a long-standing friend, as well as colleague in Marriage Care, I have been able to appreciate your skills, your keen mind, and your humour in various aspects of our work. I particularly appreciate the way you cut through irrelevances to the nub of a point and ask pertinent questions in our centre meetings and our CPD sessions. Your care and concern for our clients really comes through clearly. Your loyalty to Marriage Care and to our Tyneside Centre is impressive and much welcomed by us all. We hope you will continue with this great work because your care for your clients is so great. Thank you very much indeed for all you have done and are doing still for Marriage Care and Marriage Care Tyneside. Thanks, Anne.
Teresa Saunders. Congratulations and thank you, Teresa, for giving Marriage Care an incredible 48 years of service. Teresa trained and volunteered as a counsellor and marriage preparation provider upon joining CMAC in 1972. Extending her skills to supervision and training during the 80s, Teresa became a key member of what was then the Northern Regional Training Team. Teresa has also volunteered as an educator and marriage enrichment facilitator. She served for several terms on the Board of Trustees during the 80s and was chair of the Counselling and Training Committee during this time. Never ceasing in energy, Teresa in more recent years has stepped up to the head of centre role at the Tyneside Centre. And here are a few words of thanks from fellow colleague and friend Patricia Ashby.
I want to pay tribute to Teresa Saunders, who's been working as a volunteer with marriage care for nearly 50 years. Congratulations, Teresa. It's a remarkable achievement. All that time, she has been part of the Tyneside Centre, where she's worked as a counsellor, a marriage prep provider, a supervisor, a tutor trainer. She's been their head of centre, and she still is so. She's been their centre secretary, the marriage prep coordination facilitator. She's worked on the marriage support programme with the Townsends and others. For nearly all this time, of course, she was in full-time teaching with a management position in the school and with a family. She's a remarkable woman. And not content with marriage care in the North East, she became involved with the National Support Team in London when she became a trustee for marriage care. She served as chair of the Counselling and Training Committee. My first memory of Teresa was when I met her on my selection day in the early 80s at the Bar Convent in York. She was one of the selectors. I remember her quite vividly because she came over to check how a friend and I were getting on. She was quiet, but friendly and assured, with a very accepting manner. When I started the initial training, the ITC as it's called, she was one of the tutors. And I later found out that that course was her first as a tutor. I was put into her home group, and I watched as she handled the group, the discussions, and all the contributions. Our group did not fall out as some others did. It was not until later that I realised how good she is at handling groups, at group work. Teresa's full range of skills were shown when I joined her and other tutors to plan and carry out regional training days. She took these in her stride, being particularly good at arranging counsellors for skills practice, which she insisted on, even though we knew these were not popular. She worked on ITCs and the subsequent diploma courses to plan and deliver over 4 or 5 residential weekends. That's a big commitment, and it was given over many years. At conferences, many people greeted her because, as she admitted, I have trained so many people. Teresa has done a great deal to support marriage, and we can all congratulate her on her many years of work in marriage care.
John McCormick. Congratulations to John, who will have dedicated an exceptional 50 years to the work of marriage care this coming January. John joined CMAC Marriage Care back in 1971, training as a counsellor and marriage preparation provider initially, and a tutor trainer just a few years later. After dedicating his time and skills through the 70s and 80s in these roles, John extended his service to a national level, becoming trustee in 1998, and he is well remembered for his excellent leadership as chair of the Board of Trustees from 1999 to 2002. Here to join us in congratulating and thanking John are Keith and Maeve Chappell, fellow colleagues and friends from the Reading Centre.
John, it's our privilege to be asked to say a few words about you and your time at Marriage Care. Your role in Marriage Care has been at every level, at national, at our local level, and you've impacted on people's lives, clients and volunteers all through the years. Over the last 50 years or so, you've made a difference to the way Marriage Care has worked through your roles as chairing various committees, preparing Marriage Care for the 21st century, especially as chairman of the organisation, implementing it and taking us forward and shaping us. On a local level around Reading, your involvement has been remarkable. You've been a counsellor now for over 40 years. You've seen thousands of clients, and I've been privileged to be around sometimes when you've been seeing people, and I see the difference you make in people's lives. I sometimes see people coming in with traumatised marriages, and after many weeks with you, they go away looking completely different. I hear tears turn to laughter. John, you've chaired us, you've guided us, and you've been a friend to us.
Just a few words from me, John. I first met you whenever you interviewed me with the prospect of becoming a counsellor. You then were my supervisor along with Pammy. Wonderful, wonderful sessions and an opportunity to kind of see you in action, John, as you almost counselled us through that process. It's been my privilege to, for a number of years, have counselled in the room next door to you, and to know that there was that support and companionship there was absolutely invaluable to me. I think, John, what you bring, so decades and decades of generosity, of volunteering, and as Keith says, in so many levels for Marriage Care. But your generosity doesn't stop with Marriage Care. You are have been for many years a very loyal member of a number of choirs, and you've also supported the diocese in a number of roles, supporting priests, helping them in their vocation. But I just wanted to say just a couple of words, John, about how I see you have lived out your vocation. You've lived out the vocation of your marriage to Maureen, which was obviously such an inspiration to you, to the two of you, and your many years of involvement as a couple in Marriage Care and all that you brought. And I know you were even at the cutting edge of some approaches to counselling, or counselling as a couple of couples. I know that was something that we talked about, that you and Maureen had explored as well together. So your marriage and the sacramental nature of your marriage and how it has sustained you through all of these decades, and your absolute fundamental belief in the purpose of Marriage Care, in making a difference to couples' relationships and how that plays into their lives, just rings out in everything that you do, John. You continue to be an inspiration. This is very much not a bookend by any means to your volunteering years at Marriage Care. This is just an opportunity to just reflect on all your contribution. We hope that you'll be around for many, many years and continuing to share your experience in your gentle, humble way, John. You've made such a difference to us. We love you so much, as a friend, as a colleague, as a fellow volunteer. So thank you, John, for all that you've done.
And thank you, John. Thank you, John, for your friendship. Thank you, John, for those many hours of chatting in the evenings when clients didn't turn up. It was always a joy when they didn't turn up, because it meant I got another hour with you. And John, thank you for all the professional skills you've brought to this organisation, to the administrative skills, and above all, your personal skills, your calmness, your generosity, your kindness, and your faith. So thank you very much from all of us.
Bernie Brunning. Congratulations and thank you, Bernie, for giving an outstanding 51 years of service to Marriage Care. Bernie joined Marriage Care in 1969, volunteering as a centre support member with the North East Hants team, and in 1977 she undertook training as a counsellor and went on to become a supervisor and counsellor trainer not long after in 1982. Bernie also served as a marriage preparation facilitator for many years and extended her skills to train other facilitators from 2006. Bernie became a tutor trainer in 1999 and continues to dedicate her time and talent as a counsellor, supervisor, trainer and marker. Here are a few words of thanks from colleague and friend Jenny Hughes.
Hello Bernie, I haven't seen you for a long time. And that's sad because we used to have a lot to do with each other years ago, and I think it was mainly to do with there was some kind of counselling and training committee years and years ago, which I think you and I both used to sit on. And I always thought you were such a wise person and also a funny person. You always used to make me giggle a lot. And I think that that's partly, I think, because we were both teachers in our past at some point. And you always had some interesting stories to tell me about the place you worked in. And also, I know that you did an awful lot of work for a diocese, the diocese where you come from. And so you helped a lot of people who wanted to become priests. I think you did some different kinds of psychological work, you know, for the diocese, which sounded very interesting and really valuable. 51 years you've been working for marriage care. That I'm impressed. I thought you and I, again, I thought that, you know, we were pretty much the same vintage, but I'm an infant compared with you. So you're absolutely wonderful, and long may you keep going. And I hope to see you at some conference in the future, some training event. I'm sure we will meet up again. So all the best. Bye-bye.
Janet Ward. Congratulations and thank you, Janet, for an amazing 54 years of service to marriage care. Janet was selected and trained whilst pregnant with her first child in 1966. And since those early years, Janet has gone on to train and serve in countless ways as a supervisor and trainer of counsellors and supervisors, an education provider and marker, as well as a trustee and head of the Coventry Centre. Chairing the Counselling and Training Committee between 1985 and 1987, Janet was also a member of the Board of Trustees involved in the appointment of Jean Judge, Marriage Care's first female Chief Executive. Here are a few words from ex-colleague and friend Tim Lavery.
Amazingly, Janet, it's 10 years or more since we have talked through training matters and supervision matters, if it comes to that, and you shared our thinking. And it hardly seems possible. But congratulations, 54 years. It's truly, truly amazing. I'm much in admiration for people who do this length of time voluntarily for marriage care, just so much about you, but also so much about the organisation. Janet, I was always so impressed by your consummate professionalism and the emphasis you gave to providing a thorough and well-rooted grounding in supervision, both for our trainees and for our counsellors. You held, and I know you will continue to hold, yourself and others to the task of providing the very, very best possible service for our clients. I mustn't forget, and I don't forget, that you were a pioneer and a leader in the provision of supervision training in marriage care. Your influence and the work you did then and continue to do now is reflected in the really high esteem in which you are held and in which marriage care is held, not just within the organisation, but regionally and nationally. And I'm very pleased and very grateful that I've been asked to do this and that you are being recognised in the way that you are. Good to be in touch with you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.
you.